Hey, let's stop pretending you're burned out because you work too hard. You're burned out because you've been performing a version of yourself that no longer fits. You don't need a planner, a time block, or another motivational quote. You need honesty. You've built a career on being reliable and the one who fixes the crisis, who shows up when others don't, who holds the line. You don't drop balls. You juggle more than anyone should and still call it fine. That's not strength. That's conditioning. Somewhere along the way, productivity became your personality. You confused forward motion with fulfillment. You don't crave rest. You crave relief. Relief from the performance. Relief from the image management. Relief from the constant negotiation between who you are and who they expect you to be. Let's call it what it is. You built success on self-abandonment. You built credibility on compliance. You built your reputation on endurance, not alignment. And now your body's collecting the debt, the sleepless nights, the mental fog, the low-grade anger you keep swallowing to stay professional. That's not weakness. That's your system rebelling against a life that looks impressive but feels empty. You don't need motivation. You need a reckoning. Because this isn't just burnout. This is misalignment wearing lipstick. The world rewarded you for being indispensable. It just forgot to mention that indispensable and disposable feel the same when you're done being used. Burnout isn't the price of ambition. It's the tax you pay for betraying your own design. You were raised on a simple formula. Work hard, prove your worth, earn your peace later. The problem is, later never comes. You can't outwork emptiness because emptiness isn't fixed by effort. It's fixed by honesty. You can hit every milestone and still miss yourself. You can get the title, the salary, the influence, and feel hollow because the strategy succeeded, but the soul starved. It's not workload. It's misalignment. You're living out of sync with your energetic blueprint. The way your system is wired to lead, create, and recover. The good news? You can rebuild it. But not through another round of optimization. Through alignment. Alignment isn't spiritual fluff. It's operational accuracy. It's the art of matching how you live to how your energy actually works. And that's where the alignment blueprint for energetic leadership comes in. There are 3 pillars: truth, energy, and integration. They sound simple, but if you live them, they'll destroy everything you've been conditioned to believe about leadership. Number 1, truth. Stop managing perception and face what's real. Most executives spend more energy curating their image than connecting to their reality. You can't optimize what you refuse to acknowledge. Truth begins when you stop asking, "How do I look?" and start asking, "Does this still fit? Does this team, this pace, this strategy still serve the woman I'm becoming, or just the one I've been?" Every resentment, every moment of dread, every Sunday night that feels like grief, that's data. That's your internal dashboard blinking red. You can silence it with caffeine and compliance, or you can read it like the feedback report it is. You're not weak because you're overwhelmed. You're overwhelmed because you've tolerated misalignment too long. You've spent a career performing competence while privately negotiating collapse. Truth is expensive. It costs illusion, approval, and the safety of the mask. But nothing changes until you pay that price. When you tell the truth, clarity follows. And clarity is an executive superpower. Number 2, energy. Once you tell the truth, you have to manage the cost. Every commitment has an energetic price tag. You've been writing blank checks. You've managed time, output, and KPIs. Now manage the only resource that fuels them all: energy. Time is fixed. Energy is variable. Spend it on what expands you, not just what pays you. Track ROI, not just in profit, but in peace. Because anything that grows revenue but drains your energy is quietly bankrupting your future. Energy management isn't rest, it's precision. It's aligning your output with your natural rhythm. You are not a machine, so stop scheduling yourself like one. Machines run until they break. Humans pulse. They expand and contract. When you honor that pulse, productivity stops being punishment and starts being flow. If you don't know your rhythm, study it. Log when you feel clear and when you crash. You'll find patterns. Those patterns are your energetic blueprint. That's what systems like human design try to explain in a more structured way. But you don't need a chart to see what's obvious. You're burning energy on things that contradict who you are. From now on, treat your energy like equity. Invest where the return is expansion. Pull out of deals, tasks, meetings, relationships that only pay you in resentment. That's not selfish. That's sustainability. Number 3, integration. Truth without action is awareness that goes nowhere. Integration is execution. It's how you translate insight into influence. Integration starts with a calendar. If your calendar doesn't reflect your values, your leadership is theory. Your time reveals your truth. Every time you say yes, you're spending authority. Spend it where it compounds. Say yes to what's aligned. Say no without guilt to what's not. Integration looks like this. You stop attending meetings that exist only because no one had the courage to cancel them. You delegate the work that hides your brilliance. You stop apologizing for saying no to anything that depletes your focus. Integration isn't about burning down your life. It's about eliminating friction between your truth and your actions. When your schedule, relationships, and communication reflect who you are, not who you pretend to be, burnout disappears by default. That's the blueprint. Truth, energy, integration. 3 steps. When you realign these, power returns automatically. If this all feels big, start small. Micro-alignment beats massive overhauls every time. 5 minutes of silence before you touch your phone. 1 honest conversation you've been avoiding. 1 responsibility delegated that never belonged to you. Tiny moves create seismic shifts when they're made from truth. You don't have to burn everything down. Just stop worshiping what's killing your spirit. Alignment is subtraction. You remove everything that blocks the signal until what's left is you. And the real you doesn't hustle for clarity. She embodies it. Awareness means nothing if you don't live it. Embodiment is the execution. It's how you make alignment real in a world that profits from your distraction. You can't think your way into presence. You have to practice it on purpose every single day. Every morning, before the inbox and the headlines, take 5 minutes. No playlist, no podcast, just silence. It will feel uncomfortable at first because silence reveals truth, but stay anyway. You're not meditating, you're interrupting the autopilot that's been running your life. That's leadership. During the day, check your body. Ask, what do I feel right now? Not what should I feel? What do I actually feel? If your shoulders are tight, drop them. If your breath is shallow, expand it. Your body is your truth detector. It speaks before your mind can spin a story. Listen. Before bed, separate from the day. Close every open tab, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. Say, whatever isn't mine to carry, I release. That's not therapy, it's hygiene. You wash your body, wash your energy too. Otherwise, you wake up carrying yesterday's weight and call it today's stress. Each week, ask yourself one question. Is my life still accurate? Accurate means true to who you are now, not who you were 6 months ago. You're allowed to evolve. You're required to evolve. Most burnout happens because people evolve and their lives don't. Realignment is maintenance. No shame, just recalibration. This is how you turn alignment from theory into operating system. Here's the truth you've avoided. You were never broken. You were conditioned. You were taught that value equals usefulness, that worth is earned through exhaustion, that rest is a reward instead of a right. You learned to equate reliability with love and obedience with success. That conditioning built your career and buried your soul underneath it. Burnout isn't your body failing. It's your soul saying no more. It's the moment your inner compass stops cooperating with the lie. You don't need fixing. You need remembering. Everything you've called weakness was actually wisdom trying to surface. That wave of anger, that moment of tears in the car, that ache in your chest. That's not instability. That's intelligence. It's your internal system demanding accuracy. You don't need another goal to prove yourself. You need permission to stop performing. Because the version of you that's exhausted from proving is not the one who's meant to lead the next era of your life. The next era is led by the woman who's finally done apologizing for existing. She knows her value isn't up for negotiation. She knows that ambition and peace can coexist. She knows that success built on suppression is failure in disguise. You can delete every title, every role, every expectation, and you'd still be enough. You'd still belong. Because enough isn't something you earn. It's something you remember. That's the reframe. You're not burned out because you can't handle pressure. You're burned out because you've been living disconnected from your design. Reconnect, and your power returns immediately. So stop calling it burnout. Start calling it a signal, a demand for alignment, a reminder that you've been underestimating your own authority. This is the inflection point. You can keep perfecting a life that looks successful but feels empty. Or you can start creating one that feels sacred and still succeeds. Because the two were never supposed to be separate. When you live by alignment, you stop negotiating your boundaries. You stop explaining your no. You stop apologizing for your pace. You lead with presence, not performance. You make decisions that serve the next decade, not the next quarter. And you finally remember what power feels like. Quiet, steady, unprovoked. You are not here to survive leadership. You are here to redefine it. The world doesn't need more women who can endure. It needs more who are aligned. Because aligned women change everything. They build cultures that heal instead of harm. They create wealth without losing worth. They prove that success without soul is no longer success. You were never designed to live on depletion. You were designed to lead from overflow. That overflow begins the moment you choose alignment over approval. It's the moment you decide that peace is a metric that matters. So take a breath. Feel your shoulders drop. You don't have to fix your life tonight. You just have to stop abandoning yourself in it. Everything else unfolds from there. Because the moment you stop performing, you start remembering. Here, we don't chase balance. We return to wholeness. We don't heal to become new. We heal to become true. You've never been too much. You've never been not enough. You've always been forever enough.